Welcome to Ask the Latina. Given the rapid expansion of the Latino population in the U.S., the growth rate among Hispanics is projected to be triple that of any other ethnic group over the next 20 years. One might expect them to be a rich source of prospects for life insurance professionals. LIMRA, a worldwide research, learning, and development organization, is a trusted source of industry knowledge for over 850 financial services firms. And LIMRA's 2013 Insurance Barometer study revealed that Hispanics have a low rate of life insurance ownership, about 59%, compared to whites, 62%, and African Americans at 66%. 75% of Hispanics still believe the cost of life insurance is too expensive, and almost half, at 49%, remain uneducated about how much or what type of policy to buy. Our guest today is Yasmin Rogers, who is an expert in various types of insurance. Thank you, Yasmin, for being with us today on Ask the Latina.
Oh, thank you for having me, Terry.
Yasmin, tell us a little bit about yourself, how your education, where you're from.
Well, I'm from Mexico, and I have been living here in the United States for 13 years. And I have a degree in international business, and I just started a new chapter, and I got certified here in Michigan for property and casualty, which is like home insurance, auto insurance, commercial, and I got certified too for life and health.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is life insurance?
Life insurance, the way I like to describe is it's the promise you make to your family and your loved ones. Then if something happens to you in your absence, you will still provide the funds for your family to keep the same lifestyle they have right now.
Okay, and how does it work?
Well, it works like in your absence, your life policy will pay the people you choose, which is in this case is the beneficiaries.
Right.
And the amount you choose too, which is the death benefit.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And is it tax-free?
It is. Actually, that's one of the best benefits of course, the amount, but it's income tax-free.
Oh, wow.
So the money that your family gets or your beneficiary is going to be income tax-free.
That's great. That's really good.
Yes, that's a great thing.
So why does one need life insurance?
Well, everyone needs life insurance for so many different reasons. That's really, it depends what the reason you want to get a life insurance.
Okay.
Let's say then you just bought a house and you want to make sure that if you are not here, your family is covered. You know, they don't have to pay the mortgage of that house. So you can get a life insurance to cover that expense. Or if you want to if you have kids and you want to make sure then there is enough funds for your kids to go to college. So you can buy, a life insurance to make sure that if you are not here, your kids can still go to college.
That's really good to know. Are there different types of life insurance programs?
Yes, there are. There are two types. One is a term life insurance, and the other one is a whole life or permanent insurance.
Okay. And what is the difference between them?
The way I like to explain it, Terry, is renting versus buying. So the term life insurance, it's like renting. You're renting an apartment. It's just for a period of time. You're going to be covered, for those periods of time, for those years. Then you decide. But at the end of that, if you decide you don't want to renew your policy, it ends there.
Okay.
And the whole life or the permanent life insurance is like buying a house. You're expecting, when you purchase a house, you're expecting to live there as long as you want. It's a
lifetime commitment.
Yes, it is. And the benefit is for the whole life. And it's the same with the house. Then you can access to the liquid funds then you have in your house. If you need money for an emergency, it's the same. You can access from your whole life policy. You can access from one of the cash values.
Wow. So you can do that while you're still alive?
Yes, you can still do it. Yes.
Interesting.
It is. Of course, it's the same, renting versus purchasing. Term life policies are cheaper than whole life policies.
Wow, didn't know that. So what's the process for one to obtain life insurance? Is there an exam? What do you need to do?
It is very simple. It's very simple. The first step that I would like to mention is completing and signing an application.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is a phone interview. They will ask you a few more questions. And the third is, it depends of the case or the coverage. They will, you may have to complete an exam.
Got it. That's really interesting. And you said depends on the age too. So you're the younger, the less?
Yes, like I'm just going to give you an example. A 10-year-old, you want to purchase a life insurance for a 10-year-old healthy boy. He doesn't need an exam. Or if you are 25 years old and you are purchasing a life insurance, a policy for under $250,000,
Right.
you don't need an exam.
Okay, so as you get older, it's a little bit different.
It is
It's
because
higher.
they want to make sure you're still healthy and
Right.
And yes, because the premiums depends of how healthy you are too.
Right. And so how do we determine the amount of insurance that we need to get?
It's very simple, and you can do this at home to give you an idea of how much you need. It's just to add the expenses that you have right now, which is the total, the total amount. Then if I'm not here, this is what I would like for my family
Right.
to have.
Okay.
Which is could be, expenses like funeral, if you have any debt, if you have a mortgage in your
Yes,
house. So you
mortgage.
you keep adding all those expenses.
Okay.
And then you add your annual income
Okay.
and multiply for how many years you would like your family to receive that same income that you're having right now.
Okay.
And then at the end, you just, if you have any savings, just subtract the savings and it will give you an amount, a general amount for how much life insurance you need.
Wow, that's a great formula. I
It
never knew
is,
that.
and of course we recommend, then you can contact someone like me and we can work together and we can
Get more detail.
more
in there.
details and help you to find the best life
Right.
insurance for you and your family.
Are there any exclusions though? Any exclusions?
After the 2 years, there are no exclusions,
Okay.
Terry. The first 2 years, the exclusion is if you commit suicide. Yes, and that will be the main exclusion
Wow.
when you're getting a life insurance.
So how long should we have the insurance in force?
It's different for everyone, depending of why they are buying it. As I mentioned it before, if you're buying a house and you want to make sure that if you are not here, something happens to you, your family doesn't have to worry about the mortgage.
Right.
But the best option for you, it could be a term life policy, because it's just for the amount of years that you will have that mortgage. So it really depends
That's a good
why
point.
you are buying the life insurance, the reasons why do you need it.
And then what happens if that person cannot pay the premiums any longer?
Well, because there are so many different policies, some policies will lapse if you don't pay the premium.
That's not good. So then they
Yes.
lose everything.
They will lose everything. So it's very important that if you get a life insurance to pay the premiums, because you don't want to pay for so many years and then stop paying and your policy will lapse.
So how can one expect their policy to perform? Is it if it provides cash value?
Well, term life policy, it doesn't perform cash value.
Got
The
it.
permanent,
Yeah.
it performs
Oh,
cash
okay.
value. And a lot of the policies guarantee cash value.
That's good. So can we solve any other potential problems with these insurance policies? And I've heard of riders, so what are riders too?
Yes. A lot of problems could be solved with the life insurance, as I mentioned it before.
Yeah.
But, and the riders are add-ons. You can purchase a basic life insurance and you can add little features that you want
Right.
to make sure, like, for example, you buy a basic life insurance, but you are worried that if something happens or you become disabled, you can't pay the premiums, because that will make
Right.
your policy to lapse.
Okay.
So you purchase a rider. In this case, is the waiver of premium. So if you have that feature in your life policy and you become disabled, the company will pay your premiums. So that way,
That's
your
good.
life policy will not lapse.
So that's what a rider does.
It is, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good to know. Will one be covered if they become disabled then? If they have
If
the
they
insurance?
have that rider, yes. But if they don't, and if they don't pay the premiums, the
Yeah.
policy will lapse. But if you keep paying the premiums, you shouldn't have any problem.
Now here's a big question, especially with our Latino community. Do you have to be a United States citizen to get life insurance?
No, you don't, Terry. You don't have to be a citizen. You can get a life insurance if you have an ID tax number. You can obtain
Gotcha.
a life insurance.
That's good to know. And can a family member still claim for a member who was in church but moved and passed away in another country?
Yes. When you are getting a life insurance, it's your own. You own your policy.
Right.
It's not like, well, I have a life insurance, then my company provides. Yes, but if you get a promotion, Terry, and you decide to move to a different company, you lose that life insurance.
Right,
When you
right.
purchase your own life insurance, it goes wherever you go.
That's
So
good.
if you decide to go to a different country, that policy, as long as you pay the premiums.
Right. I was going to ask that.
Yes, as long as you pay the premiums, you shouldn't have any problem. You
That's
know,
good.
it will, yes.
That's good. Now, is there any way that someone can save on coverage? Maybe discount with as a bundled plan?
Yes, the biggest saving that I could say is the younger you are, the lower your premium is going to be. And of course, if you write more products, like just for an example, if you have your auto and your life policy, you could have another discount.
Oh, okay. Just similar to like mortgage, or not mortgage, but your home insurance and your auto insurance, similar to that. then.
Similar
That's
to
the bundling.
that, yes, that's the
That's
bundling.
good.
The
And
more
depends-
products you have, the
Yeah.
more discounts you can have. And of course, the younger you are, the cheaper it is.
That's really good to know. So we have a study that indicates that almost half of Hispanics are very or extremely concerned about dying unexpectedly, compared to less than a third of the general population. Among those Hispanics in the study, buying life insurance, the top reasons that they cited were for covering the burial and also other final expenses, help replace the lost income of a wage earner, transfer the wealth and leave an inheritance, as we talked here, and then pay off the mortgage, which is a really big one, cover home expenses such as childcare, transportation, cooking, and cleaning. So that's very interesting. What do you think about that last point? That's kind of interesting. I never thought about the cooking and cleaning can be covered.
Yes, and that's
Can't be covered while you're alive? No, I could use that.
The main reason for that one is like, you know, I get a lot of questions. Then, okay, I don't work. I don't bring an income to this house. So
Right.
why do I need a life insurance? Well, because if you passed away, your husband will have extra expenses than you guys are not having right now,
Right.
like a childcare. He might need help. Well, no, he might not. He will need help, you
Right.
know, with the kids and the
Right.
cleaning and just funeral
good point.
expenses. So
Never thought about
even
that.
if you don't bring an income to your house, it
Yeah, because the dual income has gone away if that person's passed away. And
Yes,
I never thought of it
and-
that way.
yeah.
Yeah, I wondered about that one point. I'm like, what does that mean? So thanks for clarifying that.
Yes,
Really good.
yeah.
Well, Yasmin, it was really great to have you here on our show. Thanks so much for basically really enlightening us with a lot of information, giving us the knowledge that we need so we have more empowerment in knowing what to do with our finances, you know, in our community and our members on As a Latina. Definitely appreciate this.
Thank you so much for having me, Terry.
Yeah.
It was really a pleasure to talk
Thank
with you
you.
about this, and I
Yeah.
hope, you know,
I know I learned a lot.
Yes,
I learned a lot. So things I never knew, and so it's really good to know, especially for a community, as we mentioned. You know, we live by the day, and we don't really think about insurance because we don't have it in Latin America.
Yes.
So it's a really big difference having it here, and we are kind of illiterate to knowing what to do in that. And that's why we do this series here on financial empowerment. So thank you. Really
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
Well, thanks a lot for being with our show with our guest today. I know you've probably learned a lot like I did. And join us for another episode of Ask the Latina.